Hey YouTube, it's Taki with TaqiTech. Thank you so much for deciding to watch this video. We left the last video off on a cliffhanger, and that was because all of a sudden our project stopped working. And I think I found what the problem is. See, the button here is assigned to a macro, and the macro is using the dot operator. And what that basically means is when you make a module, basically in some ways you're making an object within VBA, even though technically the programming that we do in VBA is not necessarily considered fully object orientated. Some things act like an object, and there are objects within VBA. For example, whenever I used the dot operator before, let me see if I can bring the code up here. So let's take a look here and see. Okay, so active workbook dot sheets, that's using the dot operator, and it's basically saying, give me the object active workbook and the method called sheets, and we're going to pass this into the method called sheets. Well, basically that's what's happening here, saying go to the get data module, which is, oh wait, we changed that to main. So hopefully that is the solution that we're looking for here. And I looked through other parts of the project here. And you shouldn't have this code commented if you're commented out if you're following along. And I'm just going to uncomment it now. Hit save real quick, and we'll give it a shot here and see if it actually works here. And there it is. We'll call this one a success. Let's call it Tony Robbins. All right, and so now it's saying, yep, because that should be new sheet name. Okay. And I expected there to be problems like this. This not what we ran into there, where I was just hitting my head against the wall, so to speak. Okay, so we do have a Tony Robbins sheet, and we have a names here. So maybe we need something a little bit more up to date as far as success. Not to say that Tony Robbins isn't up to date. Are we still running this code here? Let's see if I hit F8. And unfortunately, the color on my screen might be off a little bit because I'm working at night here. Let's just hit play. See what we get here. Hopefully. All right. So Tony Robbins, that looks good. And I was trying to say that he was played out. All right. So we have our names here. We have our gender, and we have our hair columns. And we have all these in different modules here. And that's all it was just that one little problem. And the unfortunate thing is when you're working with this, I remember when this used to be, this type of compiler here used to be top of the line, because it would show some of those errors, like it showed us where it was just saying sheet name as opposed to new sheet name. And I hope you kind of followed along where that was. But basically the compiler didn't tell us this is what your error is, or maybe it did in some ways. We just had to really be able to define it and say, hey, wait, hold on, what isn't working here? Let's start from square one. Let's see what happens. What are we calling when we press this button? And there it was right there. And generally, when you plan your project, you don't want to be that far off as I was here. And this is a good example where you don't want to have to change the name of a module. But I was thinking of things a little bit differently when we first started, and I thought get data was good, and I started to add different columns and had different ideas and went in different directions. And that's going to happen with the project. And as a project grows and becomes more complex, then you might need to make some changes later on. So thanks a lot for watching. If you liked the content on this video, if you like the content on this channel, please like this video and subscribe. It would mean a whole lot to me. And thank you so much for watching. And until next time, take it easy.